Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. I showed it on my blog the other day and I was requested to show how it was made. So that's what I'm going to do. This is another one that I've done as the same. The designer series paper is actually card fronts, and those are from the Most Wonderful Time product Medley, which is available in the Christmas catalogue. I'll just quickly show you what you get with these bits. This is the set here, and it's on page 39. So what you get for the set is there's a stamp set. Let's just move those two out of the way a moment. There's a stamp set which is two-step stamping, so you've got your 3 gifts there and the ribbons that go with them, and then there's a die to cut them out, and it will cut them as 3 separate dies. You've got 2 dies for the trees as well. You've got a label die there for the sentiments, and you've also got a little angel and a star for tops of the Christmas trees. So you get that in the Most Wonderful Time product Medley. You'll also get a pack of 48 sheets of designer series paper, and with these, one side you get 8 of each design, and on one side of the each sheet it's got gold on there. Okay, so you've got that one with that. I've turned them over, so if you see them 2 by 2, that's the back of this one. Okay, so that's got the gold on it. The candy canes have got gold. That one's good, that'll be used after Christmas as well. So could that one. That's got stars on, gold in it. And this one with the gifts. And on this one I've been fussy cutting the bows on here and adhering them to the little reindeer. In fact, you could cut the bows off of that one. That's the one with the deer on it. And that one as well. So you get 48 sheets of that. You also get 12 card fronts. Now this is what I've been using. Okay, you get 4 of each design. So I've done that one and I've done that one, and today I'm going to be doing this one. So you get 12 of those. You also get 7 sheets of self-adhesive stickers. I haven't used these ones yet. But you've got the trees and you've got the deer. You've got the bucks and the rose. And lots of the leaves with the berries. And that's a card that I made using those. I'm not really a sticker person, but that really appealed to me. And the little stars there, which are white on here, or these grey, I just painted them with my Stampin' Right marker, and I thought that finished it off quite nicely. So that's what that one is all about, and that explains where I get these sheets from. So I'm going to start off by telling you the card pieces that you're going to be needing. You need a Whisper White card base, which measures 8 1/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches, scored and folded at 4 1/8, which is 21 centimetres by 14.5 centimetres, scored at 10.5 centimetres. And then you need 2 pieces of gold foil, and they should measure 3 7/8 inches by 5 1/2 inches, which is 10 by 14 centimetres. And then a piece of Whisper White for inside the card, and that should measure 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 9.7 by 13.7 centimetres. And also this one for the front of the card, which should measure the same. So that was 3 3/4 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 9.7 by 13.7. You also need a strip of Whisper White for the banner across here, and that should measure 7/8 of an inch by 3 3/4 inches, which is 9.7 centimetres by 2.2 centimetres. And I have done some of my die cutting in advance, but you need enough scraps of Whisper White to do 5 stars. I've actually used thick Whisper White just because it makes it that much thicker, but you can use regular Whisper White. If you wanted to, you could do an extra one to 6, so about the same thickness. But the reason I like to do it like this is I like the solid look there rather than being able to see the dimensionals through it, and also it means that the points here get a really good support, whereas if you put the dimensionals underneath, you still got that end little bit of the point that isn't protected. So that's what I'm going to be showing you on that. You also need some scraps of gold foil to do the star there, the points, and also the star in the middle, inside the card rather, there. Before I move on, if you saw my video where I was giving you a review on the new trimmer, you may remember that I did I cut a sheet of foil and I was disappointed with it because it wasn't very good on the edge, and somebody suggested that I should put it in and cut it upside down. And I have to say that works brilliantly, except it does give you that little, I don't know if this can show up, it shows, you get that little ridge there, which always happens on the reverse of paper because the blade goes down and it pushes all the fibres down. So there's nothing you can actually do about that. It is the nature of the beast. But to do the foil, to get a nice cut, you need it upside down, and then I know you've seen me do this before. All I do is very gently with my bone folder just go over the edge and flatten that down. It leaves it like with a tiny line around the edge there, which is fine. It looks nice on the cards, but at least it smooths it all out for you. Okay, so that's how to get over cutting the foil. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do the gold embossing for my sentiment. And yes, the stamp set I'm using is So Many Stars, and I'm using this. And this comes as a bundle. Whoops. Get that up. It comes as a bundle with all these stars, which are absolutely amazing. I've been having great fun with these this week. It's got these layering stitched stars, which are these ones. I'm going to be using number 5 for the white star there. For the gold star in the middle, I'm going to use the largest one of these, the medium size one. Well, not really medium, is it, because there's 4. But the second largest is the one that I've used on the inside. Yep. And I'm going to be using these, which is for these bits here. Okay. If you buy the two together, you save 10% on the individual prices. But first of all, let me do the embossing. So first of all, I'm going over my piece of paper, my cardstock, with my embossing buddy. Make sure there's no greasy finger marks on there, no static. And this is my stamp and my Versamark. And here I have my gold embossing powder and what I call my reverse tweezers. You press in the middle and they open, and then close it, and then they take charge of holding onto the cardstock. Oh, before I do that, I like to use my lines on my grid paper to help me stay straight. Okay. So this is my Versamark. Give it a good inking. and I will try not to come over into the screen. That looks as if it's central. I think it's straight. Yes, I think that's straight. If I take my reverse tweezers. There we go, that's okay. Nice and straight. Let's just give that a little flick. Yes, that's good. Okay, first of all, let me close up my embossing powder. Now it's going to be noisy just for a couple of minutes. But I'll get it running for a few seconds first of all. So bear with me and watch the magic. This fascinates me every time I do it. Can you see that going all shiny? As soon as it goes shiny, move on to the next bit. Hanging around on it isn't going to make it go any more shiny. In fact, you can overcook it if you're not careful. There we go. So, oh, I should have closed that up before I put the heat on. Never mind. So what I need to do is I need to cut another one of these out. I need to do the two stars. I'm not sure which ones I'll use yet. And I need to cut another one of these. And I think that's probably all. So let me get my Big Shot up. Oh, didn't bring it over. Oh dear. I've just run over some paper. Did you hear that? You may notice that I don't have a hostess code up in the corner like I usually do. That's because today's the 30th of October, so it's the end of the month tomorrow, and this video will be published on the 3rd of November. So I haven't got my November code ready yet, but I will make sure that it's in the box below the video, so if you do want to place an order, you'll have the code there ready. Right, so first of all, let me get my dies out. So for the white one, I'm going to use the layering dies, number 5. So as you know, I always start off with the smallest one. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one. And I've already done 4 of these, so I just need one of them. I need one of those, and I need one of those. Now that would help if I put it round the other way, wouldn't it? That's fine. Oh yep, you'll go on there beautifully. Will you go on there? Yes, we'll say yes. And I'm going to cut that piece off because there's lots of scratches on my cutting mat, and if there's any foil exposed, it's going to leave it very scratched, so I wouldn't be able to use it again. Right, so that's all I need. Okay, so you need to cut 5 of those, or 6 if you decide you're using regular Whisper White cardstock, and you need to do 5 of these as well. I'll bring that through again. Now that one will be fine. Okay, so it's got all those beautiful stitches on there. Now these I am just going to move a little bit and put through again. And I'm also going to put a little bit of pressure on them as well. My big shot's getting a bit tired now, so it needs a bit of help when I've got more than just straightforward shapes to do. There we go. Now they should all pop out beautifully. There's my... Oh, I needed the other mat, didn't I, not this one. Oh, well, let's hope it all comes out by itself. Oh, it looks as if it might do. I meant to bring the sponge to go with my brush, my dye brush. Oh, look at all these bits. Oh, I'm sure it's all going to come out nicely. Oh, here we go. I wonder if I can use that. I know it's not meant for it, but... There we go, beautiful. So there's that one. That was a smaller one. Yes, lovely. That's the bigger one. And this one. This one's come out all right by itself. Right, let's move that die over to safety. Don't need those. Right, so I think all we need to do now is to put everything together. I did have a sheet of paper that was a sticky sheet, I think. As you know, I like to blot off my glue when I'm doing really small areas, just in case I've put too much glue on there. Right, first of all I'm going to adhere these two. I've already put my tape on the back. Don't forget, as from 1st of November, 2 days ago now, customers were able to start ordering our fabulous new trimmer, and also the Christmas time suite is available as well. That's going to be available while stocks last. I do have it here. I haven't started playing with it yet, but I will do. And of course the other thing is that during November, everybody who shops through my online store will receive from me one of our little logo pop-up bins, rubbish bins that you can have on your craft desk. If you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator and you'd like to come and shop with me, I'd be absolutely delighted. There we go. This one. The length of the card fronts is actually 5 3/8 inches, which is the length that you need. So don't be surprised when you put it into your trimmer that it's already cut to size on that one. It's just the width you need to do. Shouldn't do that first, should I? Let's pop that back for a minute. I should really pop this one on first, just in case there's any overhang, which there is. There's nearly always overhang when I do this. I like to make sure that it fits properly. So what I'm going to do is I'm lining my cardstock up on my grid paper. So that's, I know you can't see this bit. Right, so let me use Tombow. Right, so I'm going to do this about 2, 3 up, 2. Okay, so I'm looking at the line that's going across the bottom. Can you? Okay, let's move it up a little bit. What I was doing is making sure that that overhang there was lining up there and that one was on the opposite side lining up, so that I know that I've got that straight. And the reason I do that bit first is so that I can cut this overhang off. On this one I do tend to err on the side of caution rather than running the risk of it finishing up a bit on the short side. There we go. And now I'm happy to pop that on there. And that'll come off nice and easy. That was already undone, and so was that one. Don't know quite what this card's going to look like, in as much as I don't know whether the pattern on this card front is going to be a bit too busy or not. But whatever it is, it's very pretty. Right. So what I'm going to do again now is I'm going to line this up. Let me do it a little bit higher so you can see what I'm doing. That dark line there I'm taking as the middle down here. In fact, I'm a bit soon at the moment, aren't I? Because I've got to glue these together. Let's do a rewind here. I'm going to adhere all of my stars together, and the way I do this is, because I've done so many swaps in the past, I try and find out the best way to have a conveyor belt going. So if I do 1, 2 stars. Now I'm putting the glue on the right side of my stars. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one without the glue on top, put that one on top, and then because it's Tombow it's very easy just to squeeze these so that they're in the right position. Okay, And then I've got another 2 to do. Just put some glue on there. And that one. And then put that one on top, put that one on top, and slide them all into place. Okay, nice and easy. Right, so let's take the gold star. Now that's the one that's going to be fitting up there. I'm going to put more Tombow, and I do the 5 points on the star. I do the big bit in the middle, and then there is a little bit wider than anywhere else, so it's quite easy to get a little bit of glue in there. And just make sure there's not too much. Just tip it over. Make sure I'm not going out of camera here. Okay, just blot off any, and then it won't leak on here. Tombow does dry clear, but it's shiny, so I still try to avoid it showing up anywhere. Okay, now let's bring this one back. Now I want to get this in the centre, which I didn't succeed with on this one. See how that is right close to the edge there? Got quite a gap on that side. Whereas this one, it's almost the same gap there and there. That's because I measured this one, but I didn't on that. So this has got to be 8 inches. That goes 2, that goes 2. Make sure that's straight. Right. Now let me see what you can see. Yep, that's good. So I'm going to put Tombow on here, and I'm going to make sure I go right up into the point of the star, which is a lot easier now that it's not this nice and thick. Okay. Make sure that's still straight, yep. And I'm going to make sure my point comes up to my line, but still leaving enough for that to be coming out from underneath. There we go. That should be pretty good. So now we're going to put those little bits in. And again, I just find the little areas where where they're a little bit thicker, and they can take a little bit more Tombow to hold it down, but I certainly don't try and get glue all over the place. But then I just blot it off. And then this thicker point I put as close into the white point, the gap between the 2 points, as possible. Okay. Oops, and we have another 4 of these to go. Don't want that to come up and down too much, because each time it goes down it's putting more Tombow where I don't want it to be. And I can see some there. Right. Now I've got glue on my finger. When you're working with gold foil like this, and you do what I do, like pressing this down to get it to anchor down, be very, very careful how you press it down, because it's very easy to leave marks into the gold foiling. There we go. This is the last one. There we go. I think that looks rather nice. I think it's going to work, isn't it? Right, let's pop this onto the card base. I just need to put some embellishments on it, and also put the star in the centre, in the middle of the card. Not the centre, inside my card. Right, just bring this down a little bit so you can see. I'm going to put some Tombow on the back of this. I'm going to pop it inside. I think that's probably about it, is it? Don't overdo it, otherwise you'll be sorry. There we go, that's that. And decoration, what I did was in the centre of the star there, I used one of these gold faceted gems. And then either end here I used the new, let's see, what are they, gold glitter enamel dots. So I used the second size. And there we go, I've got glue on that. I'll have to get that off. It's not going to be easy, is it? Well, we do like a challenge. Right, there we go. So there we go, that's today's card. I hope you like it, and I hope you give it a try. I hope you like the Most Wonderful product medley as well. I didn't show you these two, did I? You also get a packet of stars in there. These are faceted stars, they've got a lot of 3D on there. And also you get a roll of this tinsel, which is gold on one side and clear tinsel on the other side. Pretty, isn't it? Okay, so that's all the bits that you get in the set there. Oh, excuse me. So there we go. Many thanks for joining me today. If you have any questions or any comments to make, please leave them in the box below the video. You do need to be watching the video on YouTube to have access to the box, and depending on which device you're watching on, you will either see show more underneath the writing on the left-hand side rather, or you will see a down arrow on the right-hand side, and that will open the box up, and in there you'll find all the measurements, all the products that I've used, linked to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop, all my contact details on my Facebook pages, my blog, etc, etc. It'll all be in the box down below there. If you've enjoyed my video and like to be notified next time I upload a new video, please click on the subscribe now button down there in the right hand corner, and also click on the bell so that you get the notification. Many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.